Brilliant. So, welcome to the 3 skills to master to become a successful world class coach. All right. So, why listen to me? What have I got to say about it? Um, this is quite a statement, isn't it? So, let me tell you first of all that I've been doing this for about 20 years now. So, I think I started in 2004, and I remember being at, I think if anybody's done Tony Robbins, like UPW, the Unleash the Power Within, and it's just like you walk into this room, there's thousands of people standing on chairs, acting like lunatics. And I was completely intimidated by the whole thing. I was absolutely terrified. So up until that point, I'd had something called selective mutism, which was honestly through chronic anxiety, sort of social anxiety, ever since I was a child, not being able to speak to people I didn't know. Groups like that would absolutely just, crush me. I wouldn't be able to speak even if I wanted to. I'd usually only speak to one person that I knew. And if somebody ever talked to me, I would just sort of nod and try not to make eye contact. So walking into, if you can imagine, walking into this massive sort of arena space, and everybody's so free with themselves and they're so excited. And it was one of those moments where if you didn't start joining in, you were going to be the one to look weird. So in the end, through peer pressure, you sort of kind of loosen up, and then everyone's sort of hugging and shaking hands, and they're doing all the cringy exercises that we have to do. And this went on for like 3 crucifying days of torture. Uh, but what I loved about it was, up until then, people kind of said, "Oh, you can change your life." They'd never given me the tools how to do it. So this was the first time that I'd ever actually had somebody say, "Right, you can do it, and these are some tools. Here's how to actually do it." And I remember feeling like, "Oh my God, there's actually something I can do. I can practice. I can do this exercise, and it helps." And I remember watching him on stage, and he was working with, so Tony Robbins was working with some poor woman who'd been clearly traumatized at some point in her life and was trying to make a breakthrough. But she also had this mutism. So she had like this belief that she had to be quiet. So she'd had a very different experience to me, but as a result of trauma, she was in a similar position. And I watched him perform what I now know, obviously, is a kind of fancy collapsing anchors. And he did this process with her, and he made a big thing about it. And suddenly she's singing on stage and she's just free. And of course, after the technique, everybody's swarming around her and just, what, how, she was sort of mini celebrity. And at that moment, I was just like, I know what I want to do now. I've seen it, I've felt it. And I wanted the same result for myself, obviously, but I was like, that is what I want to do with my life. And it was so straightforward in that moment. And I literally said to people, what was he using? What was he doing? And they said, oh, he does a bit of NLP, bit of hypnosis. Those are the main things. He doesn't call it that, but that's what he's doing. I'm like, great, on the internet. I booked myself onto an NLP course within 2 weeks, the first available one. And I just booked on it, went on it, and 7 days later, so the course was 7 days long in an intensive block. 7 days later, the teacher did the phobia cure on me. I walked out of there without selective mutism, and have not stopped talking since. And immediately set up a networking business for myself. And because I didn't have any friends back then, I begged my sisters to send their friends to my house for this networking evening. And I just stood in front of them, and I passionately, expressed some of the stuff that I'd learned on the course, and tried to help them, through some of I called it birds in business. And I tried to help them kind of think about how they could start their own businesses. I was passionate about doing that. And that just took off, and it became like a platform for me to just start practicing talking. And needless to say, I got loads of coaching clients because people are like, bloody hell, how did you do that? Oh my God, can you help me with this? Yeah. And I coached anyone that would sit still. I wasn't interested in charging money. I just wanted to practice what I had learned. And the fewer blocks in the way of that, the better. And I must have, I don't know how many people, it must have been 50, at least 50 people that I coached just obsessively. I was bunking off work to get them to it as well. Like, I would just like, this is what I do now. Work is just somewhere that I have to show up, you know, occasionally. And I was like a woman possessed with it and loved it. And very sort of, became very obvious I was going to have to leave my job because the two were completely incompatible. And kind of started charging for it, wasn't quite sure what to charge, and you know, it was a bit about the money because I kind of thought, how can you charge for this? This is so great. Like, people should have this for free, but then you don't eat and starve to death. So somewhere along the line, I had to resolve that conflict and started to charge for it. And then people were saying, could you come into my work and talk to my team about this? Okay, I'm not a trainer though. This doesn't matter. Just do what you did with me, but for a group. Okay. And I said yes to everything, and eventually ended up with a training business and a team and coaching people. And basically, through saying yes to everything, I've ended up with just the most amazing life. Not even just career, but the most amazing life through saying yes to everything and looking for ways that I could serve as many people as possible with what I felt was the, you know, the most amazing thing, which was NLP. So when I think, and this is something that occurred to me a while back, is Nick was talking, you know, he asked me about my bucket list, and I said, I honestly don't have one. I have, I literally have no, I've done everything that I've wanted to do. I am so happy with everything that I've done. There are things I will do. There are things that I'm, you know, I'm working towards, but they're more about development and growth and serving more and reaching my potential. I have had the most amazing time, and it's only because of the coaching. Like, the opportunities that I have had would not have come to me if I was in my old job in the city. They wouldn't have come to me had I not had the sort of personal relationships, deep, intimate relationships that you have through coaching. Um, and so not only am I passionate about NLP, but I'm also a massive advocate of being a coach because of the doors that it can open. Like, who doesn't want the coach to come and talk at the networking event, right? Like, who doesn't want the coach? Do you want the, you know, I'm sure there are lots of fantastic things you can learn from chartered accounting or, you know, the embalmer down the road, I'm sure, but it might be a niche market for you. But if you're a coach and someone says, "Oh, do you want more confidence? I can do a talk for you on confidence." Most people go, "Oh, yeah, please." So your appeal to people is just so great. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this session today is because I know that there are a lot of coaches out there or people who think they might want to do coaching, but you know, like Nikki said, you know, it's like, it's got to add up. It's got to pay the, you know, pay bills. It's got to earn its keep if I'm going to do this amazing thing. And because I've had such a great time, I want people to embrace it and find the easy way to do it. Right? I want to shortcut the process for you. I want to reassure you you're in the right place. And yeah, just do what I can to serve you so that you can go out and serve other people. I have been training coaches now for at least 15 years. Before I was coaching them in NLP, I was teaching them, I was teaching people how to coach the ILM model of coaching. So so pretty much the whole 20 years I've been doing that. But for the last 15 years, I've been doing the NLP training, so qualifying practitioners and master practitioners of NLP. And I'm now a master trainer, so I've been qualifying, assisting on the trainer. So one of the things that always annoys me when you're coaching these really, really amazing people, that one, I'm very lucky that I seem to train lovely people. Like, we always have an amazing group of people that comes to our courses, but they're always so loving and they've got these big hearts, and you just think, God, you're designed for this. And then they hold themselves back in so many different ways, or you know, they meet these obstacles and blocks, and then they can't do what they really love, and quite often they have to stick doing what they don't love or what doesn't serve the world. And that's a frustration when you know how talented these people are. And I kind of rack my brains as to what I can do to sort of push them or help them or unblock themselves. So that's what today is about as well. And ultimately, why why would you listen to me? Well, because my whole business like revolves around helping people that think they might want to coach, learn to coach, and then help them be successful at that coaching, and find more and more ways for them to have not the career that I've had, but a similar career to the one that I've had and are still having if they choose to. So I kind of feel myself, I kind of feel like I want to provide like a career in a box. Like, here's everything you need. Now just go out and have the best time and be really successful and, don't look back. So that's why you should listen to me, because I really, really am passionate about this. And I've been there, I've got the map, I'll give it to you. And then if I can help you fast track your career, then I will. All right. I've got the slowest slides ever. They don't match my speaking pace, do they? The slides are asleep. Come on. I have to put a fire under the slides. So again, so why would you want to do this? So I'm guessing that for most of you that are on this call, it's because you want more certainty. You want to know what the process is. You don't want to have to hustle with this uncertainty of, is this going to work? Is this the right way to do this? If you don't have somebody who's been there before you to say, yes, keep going, that's great, you're on the right track, it's all very uncertain. It's easy to doubt yourself and give up. It's also nice to come on this call and see that there are other people in the same boat as you, and to connect as well, because coaching is all about connecting with people. And honestly, I want you to master these skills because you will feel so good about yourself when you're always serving other people, so you'll feel good about yourself for doing that. But it's okay for you to feel good about yourself because you're actually feeling like you're getting something from it as well. So I really want you to achieve every dream you have through doing this as well. All right. So one of the things that we're going to do today, I'm going to list them down and we're going to get into it. I'm going to ask you to think about what your mission is. And there's a big reason why I'm going to do that. And if you don't know, it's fine to have a mission just for today. And then that mission could be different tomorrow. But having a mission is a really instrumental part of being successful. So we're going to talk about your mission, separate to the skills. I'm going to go through the 3 skills that I believe are the ones that you need to really focus on. I'm going to give you some attitudes that will help you to keep going for each of those skills. I'm going to give you some things you can do today. So exercises to do today, things to think about today, free resources today. And I'm going to show you the other ways that I can help you if you want those things. There's also, for those of you that are on the live call, a special gift that I'm going to give to you today. So keep on the call to the end if you can. I'll try not to overrun. But there's a special gift that I won't be sending out in the recording. It's only for those people that turned up live today. All right, listen back to the recording loads of times if it's helpful. Make notes of the actions or the aha moments only. I don't think we've got any scribers here, so just let it kind of go through you. Any aha moments, fine, write them down. Do the exercises now or later, it's up to you. And notice limiting beliefs as they pop up. You can put them in the chat and I'll see if I can help you in the moment. But obviously ask questions in the chat. Now, because this is just for us, you can ask questions out loud. I'm very chilled about that today. This isn't going to be, like I said, a public recording. So super happy for this to be a workshop where we chat. Any questions before we start? Good. All right, so let's identify your mission. Now, a mission is not a goal and it's not an outcome. It's the massive why you're bothering. And it needs to be bigger than you. It needs to be bigger than your fear. It needs to be bigger than your ego. I'll start putting this slide on yesterday and eventually By the time I finish speaking, it will be up. Okay. It needs to be bigger than you, bigger than your fear, bigger than your ego, bigger than your exhaustion, bigger than your personal goals. Now, there's nothing wrong with not having a mission that's bigger than you and bigger than your ego and bigger than all the rest of it. Nothing. But we're talking about being a successful world-class coach, where I'm pretty sure all of you are world-class now. Yeah. So the key is in the word successful and, bigger and better. You're going to need a mission if you want to do it faster and you want to do it bigger. Because when you're sitting there going, oh, I could, I don't know, what should I charge for that? I don't know. Oh, I can't, I don't know. What if it's rubbish? And then they don't, and then they gave me the money. Like, you want to have a mission that's like, you know what? If I don't charge this, I'm going to have to go back to another job, and then I'm going to be serving nobody, and I won't achieve my mission. So fuck it. This is what it costs. And if you can't afford it, I'll give you something cheaper that's different. Right? It's got to be bigger than your fear of what people think. It's got to be bigger than your fear of letting people down, of doing something wrong, making a mistake, getting told off. Yeah. So you don't have to have a mission. But I think most of you, when you really feel deep down, I know, Ella, for example, you're on a mission right now with the social media and the phones for kids, aren't you? Like, that's a mission, isn't it? You feel that in your bones. And if you had a talk to parents of children who are on the cusp of giving their kids phones or not, and you felt a little bit under the weather, and you're like, oh, I could cancel, I don't feel quite like doing it today, that mission would say, oh, no, I don't think so. I've got to do it. And that's massively going to help you to get over yourself in a way, to just get you out there. Yeah. My big one was being told off. I was like, I'm just going to get told off if I do that. Like, oh, nobody's qualified me for that. No one's given me permission for that. And then when you've got this, like, passion inside of you that says, look, I don't want to help the people that don't want to be helped. That sounds like purgatory. I'm going to help people that are out there needing help. So that's what I'm going to do, and nothing's going to stop me. Yeah. And it's really helpful. And it's not about you then, it's about the mission. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me help you find what your mission might be, because obviously trying to pluck it out of thin air is going to be fun. So here's a little exercise to do. Imagine you are one of 20 people from around the world selected to broadcast a positive message to every person on the planet. What would you say? And could you expand it into a 20-minute TED talk? Right? So fine if it's like, okay, just do it. Whatever it is, just do it is my message. Like, don't wait, just do it. Could you expand that to a 20-minute TED talk if that's what you believe is the most important thing you could ever tell anybody? Another thing to think is, if I could go back and scream at my 20-year-old self through the void, what would I be screaming at myself? What message would I send back? Because that's probably a worthy mission, to spread that kind of message. Anybody know what they would say already? We have an idea? What would it be in the ballpark of, do you think? What would you say? So not what would, and this is really interesting to look at your chain of thought. When you think about, oh, right, I have to say a message, is it what would sound good? Is it what people would like to hear? Where is it coming from? Or is it, do you know what? This is a hard truth, but this is how it is. Mic drop. This is a fact. This is what I think. This is what I believe. Love it. So I want to help women in business have it all. So if that's the mission, what would, if you could send a message, obviously, to all the, to all the women, and then, the people who are supporting those women in their lives, or encouraging those women, or not, or holding those women back, what would be your 2-minute message to them? What is it that stops them from having it all, that in that 2 minutes you could say, pay attention to this, or stop worrying about this, or this is what you need to do, this is what really matters. It's all an illustration. Your mindset can transform your life. Fabulous. So again, that 2 minutes, think about how condensed you'd have to get that message. Because saying your mindset can change your life to someone in, Venezuela versus someone in Papua New Guinea, how would you communicate that to every human being? Because undoubtedly you are on this planet to say something, to do something, to matter. And it doesn't have to be, your mission doesn't have to be for every single person on the planet, but there is probably an essence of your uniqueness, your life experience, your passion, your energy in that message. You're enough. Oh my goodness. How many people on earth need to hear that, do you think? Yeah. Or even your too muchness is okay. Because that's the other fear, isn't it? It's that we're too much for people, that we're too much of a burden, we're too much of a, we're too excited, we're too happy, we're annoying. We need too much, we want too much, we shouldn't be this way. Actually, you're not too much, you're just perfect in the right amount. That's a lovely message. Live your best life now. That's it. So if now is the only moment that you've got. Personal peace and calmness to open the adventure of all we don't know. Oh, cool. That's a deep one. Love yourself. Be happy in your own skin. Amazing. I mean, God, what these are worthy messages, and obviously they're going to come through your voice. And so the perfect thing is that not everyone on the planet would listen to one particular person, but they might listen to you, like, because of you. So every single voice has a tribe just waiting to listen to that voice. And this is true because not every cover version of a song does as well, does it? So sometimes a cover version does better than the original song because people like the singer. Well, you're the singer. And so a song that you sing, even if somebody else has sung it many times before, will appeal to a different set of people. So there is no overcrowding. There is no too many messages, too many of the same messages. Your voice matters. I want to help women who have done masks. Yeah, hiding their fabulousness and their pain. Yes, and don't know how to break free. Exactly. So they know they want to, and your particular mission is here's how. Here's the tools. Great. You are a woman, and you have within the power to do and be the awesome human you were created to be. Amazing. Being a woman is your superpower. Yeah. Okay, good. Now, could all of you think about making that into a 20-minute talk? Where if somebody said, okay, you haven't got just 2 minutes now, talk to me for 20 minutes. Could you not necessarily know how to format it, but could you chat to somebody individually about it for 20 minutes at least? Because that's the next thing, is to think, okay, what do I want to say on this? If somebody gave me 20 minutes to talk to the world, what would I say? Okay. So for me, my most favorite mission is helping people to believe in themselves. And there's so many different ways to do that, and really understand the power of our belief in other people as well. So one of the things I've never found difficult is believing in people. I always say if somebody wants something, I'm like, okay, cool. Why would I doubt you? And so believing in people for me is very, very straightforward, and I can always see potential, and I can absolutely assume that they can get there. It's just a matter of figuring out how. And therefore, one of the most important things for me about belief is understanding that success is usually, like, the biggest predictor of success is self-belief, but actually it's perseverance, because they're inextricably linked. Because if you believe in yourself and you've failed 6 times, you'll keep going. If you don't believe in yourself and you've tried 6 times, you'll stop. So perseverance tends to be very much easier when you believe in yourself. But if you don't believe in yourself and someone tells you that perseverance is the key, then you can outsource your self-belief. You can say, well, actually, I'm going to outsource my self-belief to the research that says perseverance is the key. And so I'm going to keep going even though I don't believe it. Because I do believe that perseverance is the key. And weirdly enough, the more you persevere, the more your self-belief will increase, because you'll start to get wins. And eventually you will do it. And you can outsource your self-belief to someone else as well. So this is really important. So in those days when you feel like, I don't think I can do my mission, I don't think I can do this, I don't think anyone cares about what I have to say, I don't think I'm a very good coach, I don't think blah, blah, blah. On those days, you want to have someone in your team who says, you're brilliant and you will keep going because you're here to do a job. You're here to do this. So I don't want to hear it that you're no good. It really doesn't matter. You'll get good. Just go do it. And they won't let you quit on a bad day. Because everybody has bad days. You can quit if you don't like it. If it's just even on your best day, you're like, that was shit. Didn't enjoy that. And don't do it. But you can outsource your self-belief to somebody else. Surround yourself with other people who are like, no, let's do this. I don't want to hear how shit you are. You'll get better. Even if it's true, you'll get good. And that's what my message would be. Glenn, why have you written ChatGPT?
Because you said how to turn it into 20 minutes. ChatGPT is like my best friend right now.
Obviously. Yes, you still need to have some discernment, but yeah, it's a good starting point for sure. All right, so let's go on to skill number 1. Mastering your tools. So I have watched so many people, because obviously I teach NLP, right? That's my tool. My main tool is NLP. I love it. I'm passionate. I'm obsessed. Evangelical. I'm stick a rock NLP all the way through. And yet when I first started NLP, I learned NLP, had this most amazing experience with it during the course, and then went and did hypnosis after that. So I did a hypnosis course with the same guy. And I started practicing hypnosis, and oh my God, that was easier, because you would just say to the person, close your eyes and then, change and make them change. And it was like, oh, wow, this is so much easier, because all those techniques require quite a lot of effort. This is quite easy to do as a beginner. So I remember feeling like, oh yeah, I'm going to just do it. Hypnosis, because it's so much easier. And then, of course, you hit the roadblocks. You're like, oh, okay, that's not actually shifting. That's not, oh, okay, I'm going to need something a bit more laser focused. And finally realized I'm going to have to actually get good at NLP. And I've seen this happen to other people where they go, oh, this is actually quite complicated, isn't it? It's actually quite, maybe there's something easier out there that I could use. And yet they've had a really great experience with it themselves. It's undeniable. But they're like, oh, maybe there's something easier I could use. Probably. But when you find something that works for you, master that. Because it's so much more authentic when you're going out there knowing that your big shifts have come from using it. And if, obviously I'm evangelical about NLP, but if it's not your thing, then fine, find what is your thing and then dedicate yourself to practicing it. if you're running up against situations where you're not able to solve problems that are coming to you, people are asking you, bringing you problems, and you're not able to satisfactorily understand those problems, pull them apart and help them solve those problems, then you need something else. If you're a counselor and you're like sitting on your hands like, oh, it's so close, can I just not say what I need to say? There's a great TV show on Apple TV Plus called Shrinking, where the first episode, it's only the pilot one if you want to watch it, but the first episode he kind of like, screw it, I'm going to just start telling people what they should do, because he can't sit and listen to them destroying their lives repeatedly. And anyway, so hijinks ensue. But it was really funny watching somebody who, has to sit on their hands and just listen, suddenly have take interventions. So you don't have to do it on people. Whatever you find, dedicate yourself to it. Become a master of it. And figure out what problems you like solving. So you could be a generalist at the beginning with it, but probably you're going to like solving problems that perhaps you've solved. And there are some problems you don't want to have to relive in your own personal life. If you've solved it, you don't have to solve it for other people if you don't want to. But if something's worked for you, dedicate yourself to it until you feel like you've mastered it. Malcolm Gladwell says it takes 10,000 hours. That may or may not be true, but let's say it's true as a ballpark. Well, then get on with it. Do you know what I mean? What are you waiting for? You can't start using a tool and be perfect at it. That's impossible. And if you did, I would say probably you don't really understand it. Because it's only through doing it wrong that we figure out why it works and how to get good at something. So you'll figure out what problems you like solving by doing a lot of different things. You don't have to niche yourself straight away. There are other ways to niche yourself, which I'll talk about later, but you want to be obsessed, practice and improve, and notice what problems along the way you've really loved being part of the solution. And this is the most important thing, is say yes to everything. Like any opportunity that comes up, you don't know what's going to come for it. So assume you're on your hero's journey and opportunities come up. Now, unless you have this most amazing gut feeling that says no, then if it feels right to say yes, sod it. I once had, this is why I've had the adventures that I've had, because I did say yes to everything, use your discernment. But I said yes to, somebody said, could you teach our Formula One team how to be a samurai? Because they said, oh, you do martial arts, don't you? Yeah. And they said, could you teach our Formula One team how to be a samurai? So, yeah, cool. Why not? Had a few days. I was doing it with this other fella. And it was like, okay, let's do it. We did this whole session of samurai exercises and stuff for this Formula One team. And at the end, they were coming up and they was like, oh, this is amazing. How long have we been into, kendo and stuff like that? And I'm like, looking at the clock. Oh, a while now. Like a while now, about 60 minutes I've been into this. And the point that I always came out with was always acting in integrity. There was no way they were going to get a bad session. I wouldn't have said yes if they were going to get a bad session. But the brilliant thing about saying yes and having integrity is you're going to come through because you have to. You just do. And so, no, I don't know how to teach you to be a samurai. But if you ask me to do it, and I'm like, fuck it, yeah, let's do it. Why not? Yeah, sod it. My worst fear, they found out I didn't know shit about being a samurai, and they tell me off, and I gave them the money back. So what? No one died. Nobody got hurt. You all had a good time. You didn't know. Ask better questions next time. Like, can I see your samurai credentials? Like, come on, we all learned something. So really, at the end of the day, just say yes to shit you're offered, or opportunities that come up. It's so much easier than making those opportunities yourself. And then honestly, just accept that at the beginning of your journey, you're going to suck at whatever tool you choose. You are. And that's okay. But the faster you go and the more you do, the less you'll suck. And if you just get over your own ego about it, as long as you know more than the person in front of you, you'll be fine. And it's not like you're just sort of, going out there to rip off people and say, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm still going to charge people anyway. If you act with integrity and you say, right, I'm going to start off with people paying for my time, and you're happy with the amount of money that you think, okay, this is a fair exchange for my love and devotion to this human being for the time that I'm with them, because I will do everything I can to help them at the level that I am at. When I am at a bigger level and I've been doing this longer, I will charge more. But right now, my love and devotion is what they're paying for, and that's worth this much money. And if they can't afford it, then you have the option to drop your prices or work with people who can afford you and give those people something else. Yeah. So any of you that have done the proximity pyramid with me, I'm happy to talk about that with you later. But that's one way that you can help everybody, no matter how much money they've got. Okay, so money never needs to come into it. Okay, there's always something that you need to do, that you can do. The other thing to remember about money is you have a finite number of hours on this planet, in this life, in this body, let's just say. So every hour that you spend not on your own self and your own family and your own enjoyment and your own adventures is time of your life that you are giving to help somebody else with their adventures and their life. Now, there has to be a trade for that. Either you just bloody love it and it's a pleasure and it's part of your adventure, or there has to be a little bit of a trade there. Because the other trade is that you have to stop doing what you love to go and earn money at a job you don't like, which is you wasting even more of your life. So it works for the whole universe if you charge enough that you don't have to do another job. So you get to keep helping people. And I'll tell you, I got some news this morning there's one of those things where I know someone in the world right now is counting the fucking hours. And if I said, could you spend one of those hours with me? It would have to be fucking worth it. Do you see what I mean? So when you really come down to it, how precious your life energy, your life love, your life hours are, don't waste them worrying about whether they're worth the money to somebody. If it's not worth it to the other person to pay you for your time, then it's not worth it to them to solve the problem. Because no amount of money to the person right now who's counting those hours, no amount of money, if I gave them the solution to solve that problem, if I had the solution to give them, they would sell their house, they would sell their car, they would probably sell pets, to solve that problem. So, question? Someone had a question?
Yeah, me. Sorry, it's just a quick one. I completely agree with everything you say, and I'm always having this battle with myself. But because of the current climate and everyone basically being skint, like, how do you get past that block? Like at the moment, I'm doing a promo where I offer half price if they book the first 3 sessions, then it goes up. So I'm kind of meeting them in the middle. But even then, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so skint. I really want to do it." And like, I do these amazing discovery calls, and they come back and they're like, you could see the difference in them. And yet they still don't book. And it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. So that's going to happen, but it's not everybody's skint. Because this is the other thing. You can think, I don't have the money for that. And then something happens, and you're like, well, we'll find the fucking money. How important is it to you? You know what I mean? Like literally,
When you say that, Sam, how important is it to you without being passive aggressive?
no, you want to have that energy. You just want to have that energy. Because it's like, okay, so for those people that I'm pretty sure you're not charging too much. Whatever your prices are, I'm pretty sure, knowing you, it's not enough. And it could be that you're just aiming at the wrong avatar for your face-to-face stuff. So in the proximity pyramid, which, I think you've probably seen before, the stuff right at the top of this pyramid, which is the very stuff that's closest to you, the one-on-one time, the gabble mate face-to-face, right? That sort of example of, oh, he's there and he's helping little me directly, one-on-one. How much would that be worth? There's only one of gabble mate. His hours are limited. His life energy is limited. He wants to spend that hour with me. I would expect to have to sell a few things to be able to afford that, if that was worth it to me. So what could he offer me that might be still good, but not quite as expensive as FaceTime? Okay, maybe I'll go on one of his retreats. That's still a little pricey. I'll go to one of his conferences and maybe I'll be the one to ask the question, and then he'll work with me one-on-one in that group. Yeah. Or maybe I'll just read his books and obsess about his books and read them again and again and again and again. Yeah. And maybe I'll find someone who's similar to Gabby Massey, but not as expensive, and then I'll get one-on-one time with them. If somebody wants to solve a problem, it is amazing how resourceful they can be to solve that problem. What you probably need to do is help them, first of all, make sure you feel it's worth it. 100% aligned with, is this worth the money? Would you pay for it? And let's face it, if you've done your training and paid money for your training, you know it's worth it. That's why you paid the money for your training. If you're sitting there and offering out something and you kind of go, I know that's worth it, it's going to change your life, and you feel 100% aligned with it, then your technique then, which we'll talk about in skill number 2, is to help them see the value and for them to connect the value. And sometimes we don't. And honestly, we push things away. It's like, oh, I don't really, something needs doing on my car, but it's still running. Man, I'm not going to spend the money on that. I'm going to go do this instead. Suddenly that car breaks down. Nuts. Now I'm going to have to, now it's more important. Shit. I'm going to have to pay for it now. So our job is to help people, not in an aggressive way. You don't need to, but to help people see the value and feel the value to them. And if it's not there, it's not there. Yeah, it's not, it's fine. Just mark it, there are 5 million different Easter eggs in the shops right now. They're all very different, aren't they? I'm not the sort of person that would go to the top shelf of the very gold, the gold laminated Easter eggs. Yeah, give me the cheap shit. That's fine with me. It's not worth, I don't love Easter enough to care that my children have gold laminated eggs. I don't, and they don't. So I'm not going to pay for them. So somebody standing there trying to flog me this amazing artisanal, handmade chocolate enormous egg is a waste of time. But if you're giving it away, if I just say I don't know, it's very expensive, and you cut it down until it's literally the same price as the shit ones, of course I'm going to have it. I mean, I'm not stupid. Of course, if you don't believe in your product enough or can't get rid of it, then I'll take it off your hands. Yeah? Decide which shelf you are, Glenn. Sell accordingly. Alrighty. Was there another question? If you think everyone is seeing, yeah. Yeah, trust me, there are things you can do to figure out not everyone is skint right now. Yeah. A lot of people with kids in private school are skint. More skint, 20% more skint than they used to be. But not everybody. All right, so attitude to help you. Hopefully some of these have already come across. And by the way, this will feel like I'm shouting at you for 2 hours, which is why I'm recording it, so you can listen back and be shouted at anytime you like. You don't self-flagellate enough. I'm here to do it for you. Take the mission seriously, not yourself. Human beings are innately ridiculous. And the sooner that you realise getting told off, provided that you avoid the criminal or the morally corrupt, everything else is just silliness. Yeah. What people think. Yeah. Read John Ronson's So You've Been Shamed if you worry about, being cancelled and, and attacked publicly for anything that you've done. It's very it's hilarious. But it also doesn't matter. Nothing really matters. And honestly, the only people that can be shamed are those people that are ashamed. Think about that. Like if you stand up and you're ashamed of what you've done and, oh, I'm ashamed. Everyone's like, yeah, you should be ashamed. In John Ronson's books, he talks about those people that avoided, they had a public shaming and they just ducked it because they went, I'm not ashamed. And people are like, oh, but you should be. But I'm not. that you should be. I'm not. You should be, but I'm not. And then they go away. Yeah. Because it's boring trying to shame someone who's not ashamed. So you can be apologetic if you've hurt somebody's feelings. You can give somebody their money back if they're really upset with you that they didn't get what they wanted from you. Run, don't walk for that one. Just give them the money back. Honestly, life isn't that serious. Like, until it is. And then it's really serious. And then everything else just seems stupid anyway. So my advice is don't take it seriously. Like, take the mission. That's what matters. Go do that. Everything else is just in the way. Oh, and all the things that you think matter, when it actually comes to it, they don't. And the one the one memory I have of this is we always think we're worried about risks. We're worried about the worst thing. You know what the worst thing is for you. And I remember my friend avoiding. She was in a penthouse in London, living in a penthouse in London. She was, her mortgage was ridiculous. It was right at the height of the interest rate hikes in 2008, I think it was. And she kept trying really hard against all odds to try and keep this apartment that she didn't really need. She just kept trying and trying and trying and trying, and eventually went bankrupt, got evicted. The bank took it off her, and that was her big thing. She was like, I just don't want that to happen. I just don't want that to happen. And on the actual day it happened, she had nowhere to go, and she called me that evening saying, "Hey Jess, I got evicted today." She said the worst thing's actually happened. I'm homeless. And she said, "And do you know where I am?" And I said, "Well, no, I don't know where you are." And she goes, "An ex-boyfriend who's always been a friend." She said, "An ex-boyfriend picked me up, bundled me into his car. He's sitting me in front of the log fire. He's bought me a glass of whiskey, and I'm having the nicest evening with the most amount of peace in my body that I've felt for years." She said, "All that time I was fighting and trying and worrying and trying to avoid the thing, and the thing wasn't that bad." She said, "I'm actually relieved. I feel so peaceful. I can start again. I can do something else now. I don't need to keep fighting." And that for me has always been really important, that you recognize that whatever you think is the worst thing, it's probably not that bad. And so do what you want to do, and don't take risks with your health or your life. That's silly. Any risk has to be a risk reward ratio that's worth it. But it's usually the worst thing is never the worst thing, really. As I said, perseverance is the biggest indicator of success, not talent. So if you're like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm good at this," if you want to get good at it, you will. Just keep going. Get some feedback. You want the feedback. The feedback is where we say, is where someone says, have you tried this? Have you tried this? The feedback is not, "That was shit." And you only want to take feedback from somebody who does things the way that you would like to do them, because everything else is just an opinion, as a preference. If I make a Knickerbocker Glory for you and you're like, I didn't like it. I think you should make it with, with strawberry ice cream. And, I think you should, I don't like nuts. Well, sure, don't eat my Knickerbocker Glory then. That's the way I like making them. Right? That's a preference. It's not criticism of the way I made mine. You don't like it. That's okay. It's not for you. So just remember that just keep going. Do what you want to do. Take the feedback from people that you respect and admire, nobody else. As I've said before, your voice is important and unique. So the more authentic that you can be and be yourself. I think some of you will know, so I swear a lot. It's because it's who I am. That's what I do. I swear a lot. And if I try and pretend I don't swear, it doesn't come out right. So I do swear. And if that's not for people, that's fine. But it's just the way that I speak. All right, so how will I support you for free? So those of you that haven't done NLP, so I think Dave, you might be the only one on the call that hasn't done NLP. There is a free NLP Foundation course on my website. Now, all of these links, everything, I'm going to send to you. All right, so this will be in the follow-up email. If you want to have a look now, who wants to have a look now? Let's have a look now. In fact, this is what I would suggest. If you've got the Tinternet, go to the beta version of our new app that's coming out. So we haven't launched it officially onto Apple yet, but it's coming. There's still a few tweaks that I want to make to it, but the beta version is completely available. So if you go to my website, reedrobbins.co.uk, I'll put it in the chat. We can start getting serious. Okay. Okay. So if you go to reedrobbins.co.uk, and then if you go to, I'll share my screen. You can see it. I'll do this now. All right, so if you go to the website and you want to go over to resources, and the app is up there. You don't have to create an account, but if you create an account, I can give you the free gift later on. So as soon as you create an account, so basically don't pay for anything. So you can, where do you get an account from? Log in. So you can go to create an account. If you haven't been here before, it should prompt you to create an account. Account's free, just don't buy anything. Yeah. So you log in. I think I've.
Looks amazing, Jess.
Thank you. I love it. It's been so fun to do. Bit of a labour of love.
So many tools there. Thank you.
I know. But you've got it already. I've already added yours because you've had it from before, haven't you? Or did you just create an account?
No. I'll just log straight back in again. Just having a look now.
Great. All right. All right. So that's what you should see. Okay. So obviously there are some things in there that you need to subscribe to get, but most things are fully available. And the foundation training, it says get premium access, but it lies, because right in there I've unlocked all this stuff. That should be unlocked. That should be unlocked. I'll go in there and unlock anything that should be unlocked. Yeah, so most of this, that's locked because that's part of the premium access. Yeah, so most of the foundation course should be absolutely free and available to you. And that's an app now that's got loads of stuff. It's got the ChatGPT trainings available for coaches. There's a free trial in here of the business mastery stuff, loads of stuff. Anyway.
Yes, just a flag, because I thought you might want to know that I've just clicked on it and it's not showing up. I've got
which one's not showing up?
Where it says start your premium, get premium access. It comes up with putting in your account details, start your free trial. None of the things that you just showed are coming up.
In your one? Has anybody else got the same problem? Just because I know that you've already got an account, so I'm just wondering whether yours is a slightly different problem.
I haven't looked now, but I mean, I know I've gone into it before and haven't had problems before. So,
because I've just done this is just a free test account that I've just created, so that's what I can see. So I'm wondering, Glenn, if yours is because you've got existing account.
If you click on the button learn, then it should come up with it.
Yeah, have you got learn, Glenn, at the bottom?
Learn.
Sorry, on the left it should be. On the actual, are you on your phone app or the web app?
No, I'm on the web app.
Okay.
So discover, learn, community, profile at the bottom, you mean?
It's either at the bottom or the left. If you've got the web app, it's usually on the left.
Yeah, I could, oh, yeah. Yeah, and I click on get premium access, it just brings me to putting my card details in.
Yeah, don't put get premium access. You don't want the get premium access. You want just to click on the actual picture of the course.
Oh, silly me. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
That's like, oh my gold, oh my gold. Tell me, don't buy anything.
Sorry.
Yeah, good. All right, there you go. So yeah, there's free stuff in there. I'll unlock some of that stuff in the foundation. The stuff at the top should be free, but it's a beta version, and that's what I'm saying. It's go on there. It's beta version, but all that stuff is available. So let me. Oh, not sure. Okay. All right. So back to here. So NLP Foundation course, for those who haven't done NLP, or for those who just need a reminder of all of the sort of psychological tools and, you know, the deletion, distortion, generalization, perceptual filters, persuasion, relabeling. There's so much of the sort of psychology in there that you just need to go over and over and over. And obviously teach it if you can, because that's the easiest way to remember it. There's a free NLP taster session coming up. It's Saturday week. I think I'll have a look. Again, the link will be in the thing. And there's an advanced masterclass for NLP practitioners that I will make available to anybody from today on the app. So I'll send you that as well. So those of you that have done NLP, there's an advanced masterclass on there. Some of you might have done it before, but basically it was showing you how to rapidly get a transformation in a session. So from somebody gives you a problem, how do you get to the root cause of that really fast and apply an intervention? So the faster that you can get results, the more you can demand you're paid. Yeah, because ultimately that's what people will pay more money for. Bigger the problem, or the faster I can get it resolved, is saves them money. You know, they don't have to, you know, spend years and years and years trying to fix it. So those are the ways I can support you for free. Here's a lovely little exercise. Consider the best client experiences, the 3 best client experiences that you've had. So if you haven't done many clients yet, even of those, what one was the best ones, and what made them the best, like for you? And it could be best result. It could be I just liked working with those people. I had a result the other day with them in couples coaching, and I just love it. I love it when an individual breakthrough impacts the partner and changes their behavior without ever having to actually deal with it. It's literally so incredible. And that for me is like, oh, I love this stuff. Oh, I just get so excited. And to see them so much happier and easier because they've done the work. Oh, it's brilliant. So what specific problems did they have? Sometimes it's the type of client that you like working with, and sometimes it's the problem you like solving. But you'll find that you're quite good at solving certain problems. We just love solving those problems because it matters. What results did you help them achieve? Is it a health result? So I know, Chris, you're into, you know, you're doing a lot of work with health, and you know, what's better than that? You know, helping somebody feel better. Somebody helped the other day with their sleep. So I'll never say no to anybody unless it's something I know that is out of my remit. Even though I know I've got my preferences for, you know, couples coaching and things, I'm not going to say no if somebody needs help. I'll always, yeah, sure, I can help you with that. And I know, and I can only do that because I was obsessed with saying yes to everything when I started, because I didn't niche myself. So if you want to achieve a mission, and it's a very specific mission, and it's, you know, you don't want to be distracted from the mission, fine, say no to things that are in the way. I was never like that. So what results did you help them achieve? What was the bridge that you used to get them from the problem to the result? Was it NLP? Was it love and devotion? Was it great advice? Was it rapport? Obviously, rapport is going to be in there. Was it just giving them space to think about it? Was it confirming what they already thought? What was the bridge that helped them fix that problem? Was it your expertise? Was it specific advice on property or, you know, finances? or photography. What was your specific bridge in each of those cases that got them to the result? And the big question, what would help you solve those problems better, like more effectively, terrible grammar, and faster? Because whatever you need to help solve those problems better and faster is what you should do. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's probably, if you already have a tool, and it's probably not more tools, just get better at those tools, because you can get faster if you're better at them. Yeah. Now, obviously, you can still only work at the speed of your clients are comfortable with. And sometimes if a client needs hand-holding over a long period of time, I just know I'm not the right person for them. Yeah, unless they like really want it to be me. Nick is brilliant at hand-holding clients for a really, really long time, going slowly. You know, he's the frightened fox person. You know, he can, he can kind of coax people out. I'm more of a kind of steamroller, and just I get the job done. So if you're not into steamrolling, then don't hire me. That's fine. Go with Nick and do it slow. But when I am, that's why I'm worth the money. Yeah, because you want it done now and you don't want to mess about anymore. So what would help you solve those problems better and faster than perhaps other people? So Nick would be in the better column. He can do fast too, but he's really good at solving problems that nobody else could probably do quite as well as he does. Like, he can reach people that you think that, no, nobody can reach them. No, they're not interested, and he can reach them. It's a real talent. But he's worked at it. So clients A and B, they felt they couldn't find a way to make their marriage work, help them resolve conflicts and work on it together, bringing them closer. The bridge was to show them that their dynamic wasn't their fault. So the bridge was awareness, giving them skills to communicate, breakthrough coaching on their individual triggers. The dynamic diagnosis, info and skills were fast, because you can just say, there you go, you now know that. So what was the bottleneck? Was the individual breakthroughs. So for me, if I can get people breakthroughs faster, then the whole thing moves faster. Because I can tell you the information, I can give you the skills to communicate. And those of you that are joining me on Sunday, you'll see that they're not very hard. The skills aren't very hard. Working out what your dynamic is takes seconds. Those are all really fast things. So therefore, it's your individual breakthroughs that will make the big difference. So I need to get better at those so that somebody doesn't need to wait 6 months. So what's your bottleneck? What's your bridge to get better and faster at making the difference? Okay. For those of you that want to make investments in yourself, obviously these are very much my beliefs. Obviously, the NLP practitioner training, we do free repeats. Master practitioner training takes it to a whole nother level. Most of you are master prac, so and I'm absolutely stand by the fact that when you finish the master prac, you are world class. That is undeniable. Do you feel like world class? Probably not. Are you? Yes. And you just figuring out how to get more confident that you are is half the battle. Yeah, and practice is do that, and results and experience with free practice evenings as well, and a WhatsApp community and discounted mentoring sessions. Okay, so if you want to do that, now, if your tool is something else that you love, like if it's EFT, if it's want to master that, master it, teach it, do it, just master it. I'm not precious about the fact that if it's not NLP for you, then don't use it. If it's something else, but pick one and become an absolute master of it, and use the other things peripherally. Okay. The next thing is you've got to figure out your business stuff. Yeah. When I first started, I was rubbish, but I also didn't understand that I couldn't ask for money. I would just be like, try not to talk about money, and it just gets in the way. So if you figure out your business strategy, if you figure out all of these, annoying things, anything that's not you just doing what you love, figure that out, and things can move much faster, more quickly. create a vision for your business that tells a story. And this is one of the things when I'm coaching people on this. Remember that personal message to the world. That's what's really important, is who you are when it comes down to it. Who you are in your story really magnetizes your tribe towards you. Design your proximity pyramid and automate your funnels. Now, I know I'm not going to talk about business today. This isn't that course. If you want to talk about that, there is a free webinar. I can it's on the website. Why didn't I put it on the app? It's on the website. I will again signpost all of this in the follow-up email. But you're going to want your proximity pyramid, which is essentially, what am I offering? So if you know, what's your most expensive offer? And it should be your one-to-one stuff. Like, that should be so expensive because you only have so many hours in a day. So if you want to earn £500,000 a year, divide that, like how much time you want to spend coaching, divide that. You're going to have to charge quite a lot to reach that level. So say, okay, that's my most expensive offer. What's the next available offer that's less FaceTime with me, less close to me, but might be more affordable for people? That might be group coaching or training, workshops. And then what's the next level down, and what's the next sort of further away until they're watching a social media clip of you with some great advice on it. And if you turn that upside down, that becomes your funnel. So if you don't know about funnels, talk to me and I'll help you with the funnel. But ultimately, you need a way to make people aware that you exist. Don't keep it a secret. Then when they are aware that you exist, you've got to collect them somewhere so you can talk to them more often. That could be LinkedIn followers, that could be Instagram followers, it could be an email list, but you need some way of saying, hey, join my tribe so I can talk to you a little bit more. And then keep sharing what you do, and then get them more and more close to you, right? So come to a workshop, meet me in person, get to know me, here's more stuff. And then for those of you that want to work with me and be handheld by me, here's the paid options. For everyone else, here's the free stuff. And the more people that you give free stuff away to, and the more people follow you, the more expensive your paid offerings can be, because there's more people to compete for those small number of spaces. Yeah. But you're still lovely people giving away things to people that can't afford it, but you're not giving away all of it. Does that make sense? You wouldn't expect Gabor Mate to, just because he's a nice guy. If you don't know who Gabor Mate is, that again, I'll tell you who it is. So invest in your knowledge of business, but don't go crazy. Like, really don't go crazy. You want to shortcut things, but you don't want to get caught in that trap of thinking that you need skills. Get the bare minimum and make it work. Yeah. Get advice. Ask people how they've done it. If somebody's doing well, say, how the hell did you do it? What's your funnel? Or just look at people's funnels. Like, go on people that you follow on Instagram. What's their funnel? How do they get me to buy that? How do they do that? Make sure you're diversifying your content. So if creating endless number of reels on Instagram is not your thing, record a massive podcast and use Opus clips to clip it down into tiny little bite-sized pieces. And there's your month's content. Yeah, if you're a chatbox like me, that's your secret weapon, is just record a bloody podcast. And then you chat. Tech splits it into little pieces for you that are all, chosen for their sort of potential virality. And then you just post those. If social media is not your bag, I'm not a big fan.
What was the tech called, Jess, for the podcast?
Opus clips.
How do you spell it?
OPUS.
Yeah.
IPS. Opus clips. That's the one I use. There are other ones. There's Descript. Riverside, if you're doing the podcast, does it itself. It only gives you kind of 10. They're good. But Opus clips will give you like 100. You can record all your long form content, clip it down, and then it will give you reels that you can add subtitles to. It's about $30 a month for the premium. I think you get one for free. So I think it shows you what it can do. And if you like it, then obviously you can do it at a month at a time, cancel. And then the next time you've got a batch to do, just sign up again for a month. It doesn't remove any of your stuff. So find a way to let people know you exist and to share your lovely, amazing content with as many people as possible, that works for you. If you're a manifesting generator in human design, you're going to need to go out and meet people in person. That's when you'll be at your absolute most charismatic, whirling dervish, doing 500 different things. That's where you're magnetic. So go do that. And if you film some of it on your way, great. But it doesn't always have to be painful to do the marketing bit and letting people know you exist. A massive, massive, massive suggestion is Daniel Priestley. He wrote Key Person of Influence. Now, for the manifestors in here, you want to run, don't walk, and get that book. He talks about being a visionary, not functional. So he's very much a case of you want to be the person that people come to in your micro niche of your industry. And you then say, yeah, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is what I recommend, and become the expert in your micro niche, whatever that is. And you become the voice of that. So I know what I talk about, and I know why you would like relationships is a big topic, but I know why you'd have me on as opposed to somebody else, right? Because I'm going to talk about all the breakthroughs. I'm going to talk about what you can do to change relationships. I'm going to take tricky concepts and help people diagnose themselves, like, well, what's your dynamic and what do you need to do about it? I'm going to take difficult things and try and make them palatable for people, and also encourage people to do the work on themselves to get the big shifts, right? That's why you'd have me on, right? Not to talk about parenting in relationships, or how to deal with infidelity, or how to deal with, parenting in a relationship. Mine's going to be on doing the work. Okay. So you've got to understand and get your business strategy. It's just a skill you're going to have. Otherwise, you're going to be so devoted to what you do and not understand why people who have less heart and passion than you are making more money. It's purely because they just understand like how to sort of churn out digital assets. And it can be as simple as the tech, just not knowing what tech to use, that there's an easier way of doing it out there, not harnessing AI. And this is something that I really know that our community needs more help with. Not everyone is a professional coach, but I think what puts them off is they're like, well, I don't know how I would get clients. Because they come and then like, oh, that's nice. And then they don't know how to get more. Yeah. And what you need to do is figure out what is the thing that I do that keeps a steady stream of clients coming through the door. And then do that thing as regularly and as often as you can to keep them coming. I know if I show up online, doesn't matter what I do, but I show up online and serve somebody for an hour, 2 hours, I get clients. They don't even have to be the same clients that were on the call. But for some reason, energetically, when I show up and I do live stuff and I give away my content, I get more clients. And provided that I do enough of those sort of free sessions, then I'll get clients. It's a no-brainer. Don't have to think about it. Just every time that I want a kind of influx of new clients, I'm like, shit, I need to give more back to the universe. And then stuff happens. So that's what I would suggest, is you find your thing, that works for you. Any questions on that just for now? Obviously, Amy.
Yes, sorry. What was the name of Daniel Priestley's book, please?
Key Person of Influence.
Key Person.
He did a podcast. He's done 2 podcasts with Stephen Bartlett, where he kind of like gives it all away, really. I mean, it's brilliant, which I love. And again, his motto is, because he said that the world works really differently than it used to, because someone like Richard Branson, for example, who, when you think about what does he actually do, we don't really do anything. He literally puts people into the business to run it, and then he's the figurehead. His job is to be Richard Branson, let's say. But when you think about these figureheads of organizations, they're the ones that go out and do all the podcasts, but they have multiple businesses that they sort of talk about. And Daniel Priestley's sort of motto really is, only the top kind of maybe 1% of your audience can actually afford to work with you in person, and that's okay. But he said, give everything else away for free, which has been absolutely my feeling, like since the beginning. Is like people have always told me don't give away anything for free, and I've always been like, why? I like it. I like sharing it. I know what I'm selling. Like if you want me to handhold you through something, yeah, I have to charge for my time. But if it's just the how, you know, the what and the how, I can totally tell you what to do and even signpost how to do it. If you want me to help you directly, yeah, there has to be some charge for that because that's my time. Yeah, happy to give away everything else. Yeah, and the dream is to be able to give away everything, because you've just got a few top 1%ers that pay everything, like the companies and the people that pay for your actual time, and then everything is free to everyone. Because I think, you know, NLP is like a birthright. I just think everybody should have access to the tool. So that's the big dream, is to be able to give everything away free, because you know that you've just got a few people or companies that want you to handhold them. All right. Okay, attitude shifts for skill 2, obviously. Be a visionary, not a functional part of the business. So the more that you're working on the client, so anyone who's a professional coach or trainer knows that you have your time working with clients, and then you have to do all of your marketing and your admin and your invoicing and your accounting, and all that stuff is in addition. But while you're doing that, you're not being a visionary, thinking about your TED Talk. You're not thinking about your mission. You're not thinking about the future, your future ambitions. So Daniel Priestley says, you know, you've got to be a visionary, not functional part of the business. So there are times that you show up and do stuff in person, but you have to somehow get yourself away from that time trap. So the earliest you can afford a PA, get a PA. With chat now, that's obviously a lot easier, because you know, a lot of stuff you can do with the help of ChatGPT, but you still need somebody to twiddle buttons and post stuff for now, till the Tesla robots anyway. Totally getting one of those. So if you're just starting out, I would suggest that you factor in a PA from the start. Because if you can factor in a PA from the start, they'll learn everything about your business and know it better than you. And then it's easier to not worry that someone else won't do it as well as you, because you don't know how to do it. And that's much easier. There's a point at which you're like, okay, can I afford somebody? And the answer to that is, you can afford somebody the moment that you realize that you're paying your imaginary PA person 150 quid an hour. Because that hour that you could be coaching somebody is being spent doing your accounts or your admin or your marketing. So that's when you know, I shouldn't be doing this myself anymore. Yeah. Decide what you're selling, give everything else away for free if you can. That is that is probably the fastest way to be seen as the expert in your industry, is to let people know you are the expert and show them. There are loads of different contrasting opinions on Instagram, and they will start their reels with, stop giving away all of your content for free, you know, or stop giving away this, stop doing this. Fuck off. That is the only response to that. No, shut up. Stop trying to sell me something. Literally just do what you know works. Because the moment, if somebody can come on your Instagram feed and say, stop doing this, and you go, oh shit, oh, I must be doing it wrong because somebody on Instagram told me not to do it, just tell them fuck off. If you plausibly understand that giving away content works for you, keep doing it. There's always times to hone and get better and think, oh, I suppose there could be other ways of doing it. If it's working, crack on. Because I've seen, just don't forget, I have watched loads of coaches argue with me about, well, I don't want to give away that because that's my IP, that's my, I'm like, yeah, and no one knows about it. And if you've only got a little bit of IP and you don't believe that you can create more stuff, then you're cutting yourself off from actually being the expert. Because if you think about the amount of stuff that's out there, you'll probably find everything on NLP that you wanted to know on YouTube. If you really wanted, you could probably buy a book, read it if you wanted. It's already there for free. But if you're the voice out there saying, here's how to do it, here's how to do it, here's how to do it, people will come to you. Yeah. And the more people that you have to say, God, I love getting information from this person, they put it in a way that I really like there's this human design lady that I follow on Instagram, love the way she explains everything. Oh, love it. Imagine if she's like, oh, I'm not going to tell them, I'm going to wait until they come on my course before I tell them all this information. I'd never know about her. Yeah. But I've recommended her to loads of people who say they want to do a course on human design, right? Because she gives away so much great stuff and shows how good she is at explaining it. All right, rant over. How I can support you for free, because I'd like to. So in the app, there is the business course, Coaching Business Mastery. In there is the first few things are for free. So there is obviously there's the inspirational webinars.
Jess, sorry to interrupt. Can I just check? Are you? Do you know you're not sharing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure I was telling you the truth. So, so in the Coaching Business Mastery on the app, there is a free section. So if you scroll down in week 1, your vision, that's free. Then there's week 2, which is how to discover your niche. Now, niche for me is more about your special magical elixir than it is about, oh, it's for, people in early perimenopause. Like that could be a subject matter niche, but your specific magical elixir that you would bring into everything that you do, whether you were somebody a landscape gardener or a rocket scientist, your particular sort of magical essence that you bring into everything is really important to know. So it could be a subject niche, but regardless of whether you're ready to niche down in your subject, you need to know what it is that makes you special, your approach. And cool. I think that's the only freebies in there for now, but I do have some other freebies for you, of course. 30-second sales pitch. So I'm going to send this as PDF. I might put it in the chat now, actually. In here. Right, what I'm going to do, it is in week 3. It is in the free, in the Coaching Business Mastery program on the app. It is in week 3. I'm going to go in right now and I'm going to make that free. So, Coaching Business Mastery. And then I'm going to talk you through it now. Why is it doing that? Right, week 1 vision. Find a niche. Is everybody finding okay? Like it's there, is that? Set as free. Right, 30-second sales pitch is now free. Creating your custom avatar. Yeah, okay. Free. All right, so those things are now free, so you can look at how to create your custom avatar, who you actually want to work with, get really clear about that, and your 30-second sales pitch. So, okay, I'll put it on the slides. All right, so I'm going to do that with you in a second. All right. Oh, oop. All right. So the 30-second sales pitch. This is really, really vital in order to be able to help people understand that they want to work with you or not really fast, especially if you're out networking or if you're on, if you are doing a reel for Instagram or a post. Introducing yourself is really, really important. So usually we'll say something like, I'm a coach. And once upon a time, someone said to me, I didn't ask what you are. I said, what do you do? Oh, shit, yes. What do I do? So what do you help, or who do you help, sorry, and what problems do they have is the next thing. So, I recorded one for you. I am a transcendental moon coach. And you'd be like, oh, what's one of those? Well, I have to now explain what it is, because otherwise you're kind of like, that means nothing to me. So who do you help and what problems do they have? And then how do you help them? Because often people will tell me what they do, like, oh, I help people who, let's say, early perimenopause. I'm like, great, with supplements, with nutritional advice, with exercise routines, with what do you help them with? Do you, mindset coaching? What? Mind body connection? What are you helping them, and how do you do it? You assume people will know that you've said, I'm a coach, that's what I help people with. How do you do it? So it could be you get specific about, I help people, they come on retreats with me and then I work through a whole transformation. I work with people on a monthly basis, support them through WhatsApp, basically handhold them one-on-one for a really intensive period of time, whatever it is. And then help me relate. So give me examples that actually excite me, that if it is for me, I would be like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. And if it's not for me, I might think, do you know what? Jeffrey was talking about that the other day. He would be absolutely made up about this, right? And then you can refer. And that's the objective of your pitch. So I'll give you an example. Remember, this is in the mastery program now. Hang on. I'm a transcendental moon coach. What is that? Oh, well, I help people who've become out of sync with the moon as a result of struggling to make things happen. And as a result of struggling to make things happen, to master their inner lunatic energy, harness the power of the moon, and create surges of abundance and success. Oh, tell me more about that. I do that by one-to-one coaching and exclusive retreats. For example, Roderick was floundering to get his business off the ground and commit to his relationship. After just 6 sessions with me, he mastered his moon power and used it to create surges of success in his relationships and business. He's now married and earns £5 million a year. Sounds good. Who wants transcendental moon coaching? So I give you a silly example because obviously you want to be overt in the process, and then you can tailor it to make it as subtle for you as you like. But I use something really silly because you can't mind read what a transcendental moon coach is. They have to explain it to you what it is. Yeah. And they have to get a sense of, the point is when you get to the Roderick, Roderick example, people are like, cool, I don't really care what it is, but I do want what Roderick has. Yeah. And so if you tell me it works and there's enough social proof, I'm interested in these. So you've got to come up with some sort of example. I really like it when somebody's been talking to you for a while and then they say, well, for someone like you, Jess, that given what you were talking about a minute ago, probably I can see that it would probably help you in this area. And if we were to work together, yeah, that's what I would recommend. And I love that because then they've made it personal to me and they've shown they were listening as well. Do you want to do I've got time. We'll do your sales pitch in a minute. We've got time to work on it in a minute, so I'm going to bring it back in a second. Has anybody actually got their sales pitch ready? Because I know, Ghislaine, you've done the business course. Have you got your sales pitch ready? Do you want to go for it?
Well, just listening to you talk, I'm just changing mine already. So, and I think when I was doing the course, I was so conscientious and just like learning and listening rather than actually orbiting and doing it. So, no, I'm not brave enough right now. Sorry. It's in my head, but like it's still formulating. I actually bought this book yesterday, and all my ideas are going to go in it, and everything I've learned in this course is going to go in it, and then I'll bash it out.
Lovely. I think it's the danger is always that we feel like, okay, I should be posting on Instagram, so I've got to get posting before we've actually thought about what we're trying to say, and we're always rushed. Everything's always rushed and rushed and rushed. And I can't start a business until I've got a website. But I don't know what I want to say on that website until I start doing it. I don't know. Everybody thinks they have to have everything in a really sort of particular order, and actually, it's not always the way that it's helpful. So, if you've had a lot of practice in what you do, writing a website is really easy, because when someone says, well, what's your USP? Oh, well, it's this. And then you just pull it out. It's much harder to start from scratch and say, right, what's your niche? I don't know. What do you want to say? I don't really know yet. Yeah. So I think once you've been doing it a while and you've got some of that practice, you'll have it. You can do it as an iterative process if you prefer. So you can say that I'll just bosh up a website. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on it. I never recommend spending a lot of money on branding, because you will change it at some point. You will. And somebody told me that. I was like, I'll spend whatever money I want. I'm a manifestor, don't tell me what to do. And of course, they were right. Spent a fortune on a logo, changed it. The last one I did with ChatGPT, I was like, fuck off, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it really quick, because no one cares. No one cares what your logo is. If you've got a really great logo and you get married to it, that's fine, brilliant for you. But actually, as long as you've got your sort of branding essence, that just helps you to make things quicker if you know what yours should look like. But the logo is less important. So don't spend money, is my point, on website design. And yeah, I literally spent $3,000, and this is all coming from experience. I'm a trial and error learner. So when I'm saying this, I'm not saying this from a position of having not made that mistake. I'm very much telling you from a position where I've made all the mistake. I spent $3,000 on a website, and the way that it was at the time, he kind of built it and gave it to me to fill in the content. I was just like, this is just all wrong. And in the end, I just went, oh fuck, I'll do it myself. Because actually the process did help me to think through a few things. But he didn't have the skills to help pull out of me what we needed to pull out. He just did a website. And it was just all wrong and awful. So dumped $3,000, but $3,000 in, to help me figure out I could do it myself. Money well spent. What's your question, Glenn?
Just wanted to just kind of back you up and agree with everything you're saying there, because when I was trying to do the 30-second sales pitch, I got so in my head. And actually now I've started coaching, I realized I attract very similar women to the problems that I used to have. And that has enabled me to do my 30-second sales pitch with so much more kind of sovereignty, because I understand it better. Just like when I started using ChatGPT, at first I was like, no, it doesn't get me. Oh, I hate it. And then once I started understanding the things I was working with my clients, ChatGPT and its scary brilliance was like, oh, okay, this is what you want. And suddenly it all came in flow. So if you're met with resistance when you first start, and know that you will overcome it as soon as you start getting into your own groove, because they're just tools to help you, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Cool. All right. So investments worth making in yourself. Obviously, I'm biased. I have written the Business Mastery course. It's 12 weeks, 12 modules that basically talks you through everything, in my opinion, that you need to be able to do your job as a coach and in the business that you want to do it. Now, is there more stuff that I could put in there? Probably. Like how do you get corporate clients? How do you, that's very specific stuff. But if you just want to be a really successful coach, this is, in my opinion, the step-by-step approach to doing it. And obviously, Glenn done it, so she can attest that it's, the modules work, that they are kind of straightforward. I give enough options in there that if you're not sure, that it's going to work for you, there's other options. So I talk about the fact you don't need to do social media. I don't do social media. Like, it's not something I enjoy. There are other ways to get clients if that's not your bag. I'm learning to love social media because I'm lazy, and I think that it's probably easier than the way I have been doing it. So I am ready to embrace laziness and try and find a way to do it that I love. But I have done 20 years without doing it, really, without utilising it. So I know it can be done. So there's lots of options in there for those of you that don't want to do that. Sales is something that I think is something that people don't understand how to do. And they think it has to be cringy and awful. And I'm just like, it just has to be you serving people. That's it. You're just trying to find ways to match up what you can do to the people that want it and help them understand why it's important. And if they don't, that's fine. And if they do, great, serve them really well. That's as much as it needs to be. Now, for any of you that there is a free trial, like I said, there is a free trial where I think, oh no, not on the Coaching Business Mastery, there isn't. That's a paid option. Tell you what I'm going to do. There's the free trial. This is crazy. It is crazy, isn't it? Should I do it? How many of you are interested in the Business Mastery? Like, if you had a 12-week module to go through, you would go through it? No?
It's so worth it, guys. Honestly, it got me going. It really is. And I'm not just saying that. It really gets you out of your comfort zone and makes you believe in yourself. Do it.
I'm just asking in terms of, like, how many of you, if I gave you 12 modules of how to make your business work, and I gave it to you for nothing, would you actually use it?
I'd like to do it again, I must admit, to refresh myself.
Okay, not enough people are sure.
I'm definitely revisiting it. As you remember, I was interrupted because of something else, but I'm going back to it to carry on from where I left off, because it's brilliant. So
Okay. All right.
I do, Jess.
You'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm certainly interested, Jess.
Who said that?
Me.
Oh, hi, Nikki. Great. Okay. So I'm just working out. So what I could do. Okay. For the rest of the call, I am just going to change the price of Business Mastery Program to $275. Down from $12.75. That's what I'm going to do. That's it. I'm just going to go back up as soon as this call finishes. Actually, I'm going to give you an hour after the call finishes to have a look at it, and then it's going to go back up. So no brainer price. All right. All right. Just check. Can somebody check that that's actually gone through? Can I check it's gone through? Access. Well, there is a free trial, so you could do a free trial anyway. Okay, learn. Just want to check. No, it hasn't gone through. Oh, is that because I haven't refreshed? Give me 2 seconds, please.
Yeah, it's now showing as 275.
It is.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, done. All right. Okay, skill number 3, speaking to groups. This will either excite you or send shivers down your spine, because that's usually the sort of the two ways that people respond to this. Why would you want to talk to groups? Okay, so at some point in your in your adventures, you are going to get someone offering you to talk to their group of people, and it's going to be unbelievable opportunity. Going to be a room full of your coaching avatars, right? It's going to be full of those people who want to do coaching with you, and they're going to be, it's hundreds of them in a room just waiting to hear from you about how they could change their life in that particular way. And it's your absolute target market, and you haven't done a thing to get them in that room. And someone's going to say, would you come and deliver a talk on your special subject to these people? And you can sell what you do at the end, as long as you don't charge us for the talk. And you're either going to go hell to the yeah, or going to go, that's not really what I do. I don't. Oh, yeah, Scarlett, that's the feeling. That's the one, the sweaty palms and that, yeah. Having had selective mutism, I am never ever going to judge anybody for not being able to talk in front of people, right? Because I know how excruciating it is to not want to do that. What I would say is, obviously with NLP, there are tools, right, that you can use to, the phobia cure, to remove some of the nerves. There's, I'll definitely signpost the collapsing anchors, free collapsing anchors, but it's in the app. There's video and an audio process to collapse anchors. So if you're not fully phobic, there are things you can do to reduce the nerves. If you are fully phobic, then I recommend the phobia cure. Again, I think I've got videos online anyway that I can signpost for that. But you can find somebody to help you with the phobia cure. It is really important. Like, in my opinion, if I couldn't have spoken to groups, I couldn't have taken those opportunities that I've had. It just couldn't have worked. I would have just been so one-to-one, one-to-one, one-to-one. The one-to-many is the key. Now, here's the big secret that people won't tell you. And having taught presentation skills now for the whole 20 years, pretty much, in corporates, to individuals, I've coached people how to sort of pitch for investment money, the whole thing. What I would tell you is, most people don't like talking in public. And when I say don't like, I mean would rather die than do it. That's the majority of people really don't want to do it. The people that are willing to do it, there are certain people that are like, oh God, okay, I'll do it. But I'll worry about it and hate it and try and avoid it if I can, but I'll do it. And then there's a smaller portion of people who are like, yeah, I'll do it, but they're terrible, right? They're just very practical, and they're, you see them I see this a lot in organizations where the people really at the top, no one's got the heart to tell them that their presentation is terrible, right? It just doesn't impact the company the way that they really want it to. But bless them, they don't have a problem doing it. They don't have a problem doing it at all. So when I ask groups of people, when was the last presentation that you saw, perhaps at work or, face to face, that how good was it? Like if you had to rate that presenter for engagement, for value, for, creating, sort of emotion and content, how would you rate them? And quite often especially in organizations, the answer is like, oh God. And when was the last time you saw someone really good, like really happy to be on stage, like really loving what they were doing and connecting with you? And there'll be very, very few. Like, it'll probably be a couple of years ago on average that someone's seen something like that. And bearing in mind how often people go to presentations and meetings and briefings and everything else, that's quite shocking. So of the people that are willing, which are very few, are willing to do it and happy to do it, there are even less people that are any good at it. So when we're talking about you becoming a key person of influence and you and your micro niche being the go-to person, there's very few competitors because most of them don't want to talk. 1% of people on LinkedIn actually create content. Everybody else is consuming it. Now, creating content is easy. Articles, blogs, yeah, posts, that's easy. But speaking, even less. How many videos do you see of people speaking on LinkedIn? None. Like, it's just on your feed, like, it's very few. And yet when you do see someone speaking and they're speaking from the heart and they're speaking and they're really connecting, it's lovely. You might not want what they're selling or might not agree with them, but it's just different. It's engaging. So there is such, if you put yourself into that bracket of people that love to speak, you will be invited everywhere, right? Especially if you're giving away great content. You will be invited everywhere. You will become every networking, organizing person's best friend because they just know they can get you in because you're like, you know, dog with two tails. Yeah, I'll talk. It really becomes its own currency, let's say. You can trade things for it. It's brilliant. So first thing to do is fall in love with it, like reduce the nerves, first of all, then fall in love with it, then get good. Or get good, then fall in love with it. But do it. It is absolutely the way to achieve your mission faster. You can teach people what you do. Millionaires, for example, sell products, sell services. Yeah, they just fix problems. Billionaires teach people how to be millionaires. So you've seen this on your Instagram, right? Here's a problem, I'm going to solve it for you. Great, they'll be wealthy. Those people that go, oh, here's how to do what I do, you know, the Grant Cardone, like, I got wealthy, selling real estate, but I'm going to teach you how to get wealthy creating, you know, by doing real estate, and I'm going to be a billionaire by helping other people become millionaires. That's his whole methodology. How many other people in the world can do what he does? A lot of people make money from property. A lot of people are happy to teach other people, but they're not happy to speak. They're not happy to get up on stage and talk passionately about what they do. So people are going to go to Grant Cardone, like him or loathe him. He's doing it. He's the one on your feed, annoyingly. Whereas perhaps people that you might respond better to are too scared or don't think they've got anything to say. Grant Cardone's already doing it. Yeah, but he's Grant Cardone. People like him or loathe him. For those people that want somebody else, maybe that would be you. Or yeah, so there's a place for everybody, but the competition is very, very small. 1% of people on LinkedIn, and there's I don't know how many millions of people on there, are creating content. Everyone else is consuming it. And maybe you won't learn to spell correctly by learning to present. You'll have incredible adventures. You will have incredible adventures though. I have been invited so many places around the world to talk because I like to talk. So why wouldn't you? Yeah, it's so fun. And you will make more money. So even in organizations, I tell people, the people at the top of this organization make more money than other people, even if their job, let's say, is just to talk, they'll make more money than people that don't talk. Because when you've got a big presentation to do, even the people on the board don't want to talk. So they'll push forwards the person who does want to talk because they don't want to do it. So that person's going to get more opportunities. That person's going to get the promotion because they're more visible. Yeah, they seem more confident. So it's hands down, in my opinion, the most important skill to start practicing now. Yeah, it will super kind of increase the rate of your results. Attitudes, though, remember, you're saying, look at this, not look at me. So it's okay if you actually like, you know, being on stage, being the center of attention. It's also okay if you're actually like, oh, I feel a bit uncomfortable being the center of attention. So what I'll do is I'll get up there and I'll make what I'm talking about the center of attention. Or actually, I'll make the audience the star of the show. And I'll talk about them because ultimately they're more interested in themselves. Remember, there's very little competition. Just because the people that you see might be those people at the top 1%, where's everybody else? Yeah, they're not there. They're in their bedrooms cowering about the idea of doing it. Yeah, or not wanting to record themselves because, like, oh God, I don't like seeing myself. Get over it. They care about how you make them feel. So think about your audience, you know, like you're there to serve them. And ultimately, in the words of my sister, who's so wise, and that's her answer to everything, she'd make the shortest coaching sessions ever, because her advice is, yeah, you probably just want to get over that, don't you? Right? You have to get over yourself. Do it, and don't think about it. You've got the tools. NLP's got the tools for you to reduce those nerves. Get rid of the fear. Get rid of the nerves. You can start small if you need to, but don't wait until that massive opportunity comes that you can't say yes to. It's just not worth it. I think the first talk that I did, oh my God, ramble. I mean, yeah, it was embarrassing. But nobody cared because I was just really passionate about telling them what I learned. And I wanted them to have a really great time. That was it. And then you just learn how to get better. And that's a lifelong journey. So don't think you're ever going to get there, because it's just the same as your coaching technique. As soon as you get really good at coaching, there'll be more stuff you want to be able to do. You want to do it faster. So don't worry about finishing. Just keep growing and you'll be fine. All right, free presentation formula. So here we are. Let me put it in the chat for you. This is foolproof. This formula I'm giving you now, absolutely bloody foolproof. Whether you're pitching something, briefing, presenting, training, doing your content for your website, the presentation, the formula that I've put in there is a format model, and it is absolutely hands down the most foolproof formula. And it's so easy. It's literally why, what, how, what if, done. If you memorize the formula, you can stand up and improvise a presentation, because you go, right, why am I telling you this? Why would you listen? Answer the question. What is it that you need to know in order to do what I'm asking you to do? Here's the concepts that you need to understand. How does it work? How does it work? Here's how it works. Here's the process. Here's what to do. And then, right, questions at the end will be, okay, well, what if I'm here and okay, for you, this is what you would do. So like at the end, it's kind of more specific, answering questions, helping people transfer it into their daily lives. That's it. I'm going to put in, I think, here we go. Right, has everybody created an account today? Okay, everybody's created an account. Joe, you created an account? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to add plans. Here we go. Right, I'm going to add a year's worth of the Coaching Academy plan for you. And Dave, I'm going to add a year's Coaching Academy plan. So that's free now. That means you get the free 90-minute workshop, and you get all the practitioner demos. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there for free now.
Jess, this is awesome. Where do we find this? Is it still under the NLP Foundation tab?
If you go back to your plan, you might have to refresh the page. You'll now have access to, that's from the top, you'll have the whole foundation training, which is all of the, there's a load of speaker stuff in there, like how to present. There's a load of stuff in there about persuasion and relabeling that normally we'd only do on the prac course. There's the practitioner techniques and demonstrations I'm adding to that, you know, as we speak. There's the advanced NLP practitioner webinar, which talks about how to rapidly get results. The ChatGPT, the road mapping, and the Design Your 90-minute workshop is on there as well.
Okay, so all of
That
the
takes you-
boxes, brilliant.
That
Thank
takes you through all of that. Yeah, okay, and I'll add anybody else that's Rosina. Okay, so that webinar, create your 90-minute workshop. Basically, it's kind of every coach needs a 90-minute workshop to showcase at least 90 minutes. You can make it 45 minutes if you prefer, but you need something that you could go out to, you know, whether it's online or in person, and give away some really great content for 75 of those minutes. And then in the last 15 minutes, talk about the amazing results that you had one-to-one with clients and invite some, you know, people to come work with you. Yeah. So give away huge amounts of content in that 90-minute workshop. You will, even if you don't mention clients, you will get more clients. And it becomes, again, because you're speaking, somebody will see you do that workshop and like, oh my God, could you come do something similar for me? I'll pay you. And you'll not only get more practice, you'll get more clients. And it is probably hands down, in my opinion, to, you know, to get a steady stream of clients that way. And like I said, I've been doing this for a really, really long time. If you've got a better way that works for you, fantastic. If you don't have a better way, this is the way that I know hands down works. All right. So this is the formula. Exercise. You've been asked to speak at a gathering of your ideal clients. They want a 20-minute power session. By the way, you've got another 5 minutes. If anybody wants to create a free account, I'll add a year's worth of the Coaching Academy plan, which is normally a subscription. So I'll just add that on.
Yes, sorry, I thought I had a free account when I joined it last time, but it's
let me find you, my friend.
So some of this is premium.
Scarlett, I think.
It's certainly on the app that I was using, but I've got it on the laptop now, you see, and that's maybe what's causing the problem.
Good. I'll find you, my friend. I can find you. Scarlett, I've just done yours. Amy, I'll do yours in a second. Ella, I'll do yours. Gillian, I'll make sure you've got it. Let's just find Amanda's. Yes.
This is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes,
I hope you enjoy it. It's I'm super excited about the app itself. I think it's so exciting. I'll add your plans in a second. So the formula itself, obviously I've put it in the chat as well. Okay. And essentially the process would be, what are you talking about? What's the title for your presentation? Now imagine if I've got a really good one, I'll put in the chat here. It's PDF. So this is an example. It's a silly example. But it's from Richard, the Rich Rituals coach. Okay. So he doesn't exist except in my head. So if Rich, the Rich Rituals coach, is going to come and do a talk for you, what is his hyper specific problem that he's going to solve? Let's call it a 20-minute power session, right? So he's obviously going to give you a result in 20 minutes. Why would you listen to him? So he might sort of do the pain. Here's the bridge. Here's the solution. The bridge is what he's selling, right? That's the point. The bridge would be his rich rituals. So he would talk about, so some of you might be struggling, some of you might have been doing this and it's not working and it's really frustrating. And you need something else to help you, create a massive abundance. Well, until you tried rich rituals, you haven't tried everything. So what do I need them to know? So what is a rich ritual? What's ritual action? What do I need to tell you about it? So I'll tell you those concepts. Then, of course, I'm going to need to demonstrate it or give you an experience of it, because otherwise you're not going to remember it and it's not going to make sense. So let's go through a rich ritual now, and I'll show you how just doing a small ritual action can create massive abundance for you and unlock your manifesting power. I'm going to give you social proof. So I'm going to talk about all the people that I've worked with that have had amazing results, maybe Roderick and the Moon Transcendental Coach, for example, and his amazing results, I'll talk about actual people who've actually had a great result with this to prove that it does work. And then I'll probably ask some questions, how you want to use it in your life, you know, some specific questions. Is it like this? Does it work like this? What if this? What if that? Then once everyone's asked their questions, you would sum it up in a nutshell. So let's recap. So here's what to take away. Here's a summary, but what are you going to take away from it? And then a call to action. So if you want more of this, I'm doing a workshop, blah, 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 come to that. Pretty simple formula. It's all in the example for you. So you can read that example and you'll kind of get, and the brilliant thing about this is that you know that this is true because you've probably watched a million of them. So you know that it works because you've been there, done it. But somebody giving you the formula is really helpful. And you can make it as subtle as you like. So if you're not into the big, obvious sales pitch, don't do the big, obvious sales pitch. My big mistake in the past has been to not sell anything and for people to come back afterwards and go, Jess, what are the next steps, babes? Like, what should I do next? And it's like, oh, yeah, probably didn't tell you about the fact that I offer that and I could help you with that. So people do want to know what the next steps are and they do want to know what's available. You're not making them buy it, but they might want to know what's the next logical step and do you offer it? Otherwise, those 3 questions that you've got to answer in order to sell anything is why buy it at all? Why buy it from you? And why buy it now? If I just talk about why buy it at all, then you'll go and buy it from someone else. You'll buy it from the next person that offers it to you because you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm convinced about NLP, for example. If I then say why buy it from me, I'm not saying you should buy it from me. I'm saying these are the people that would be right for me. If you resonate with me and my experience and you believe that I can help you, buy it from me. And here's my credibility. And then you kind of think, well, I could buy it in 3 years' time. Why would I buy it now? Partly because it's available now and it's limited time only, or there's limited spaces. That's usually a good one. Or because the pain is bad now, or because the pain will get worse if you wait. And so helping people to ask themselves, do I need this now? Is this something that I really need to be working on now? Yeah. If you don't know what your mission is and you don't know if you really want to do this, the business skills probably aren't your first thing. They're probably not the first thing. Practice and knowing whether you actually love doing it, that's the first thing. Yeah. If you haven't met the blocks yet around getting results and you feel like I'm getting results with the tools I have, don't pay more money to do more tools. Yeah, wait till you meet that block and it's like, oh, that was frustration. I had to transfer that person to someone else because I couldn't help them. Damn it. When you get those blocks, now's the time. Yeah. So you can wait until it's painful, or you can predict the pain and do it before it happens. All right. So in terms of presenting, yes, of course, I teach it. I've got a waiting list at the moment on the website. I'll put the waiting list in the chat. I'm probably not going to be doing the actual training until in the autumn. So I'll put it in the chat. I'll also pop it in the follow-up email. But if you do want to pop your name down on a wait list, again, it's not obligating you to do anything. It'll just be that when if I do more free webinars, for example, about speaking, or maybe I'll do like a getting rid of nerves thing, or I do some more free stuff, or do a free trial or whatever, you'll be the first to know about it. Yeah, so you're not obligated to pay for training, but it would be, be nice to know who's interested in that area of topic. There's influential presenting, which is like the basic level, which is just get you up and running with a basic formula and how to make it engaging and clear and so on. And then there's the professional trainer and facilitator training, which is the next level up. You have to do the influential bit to do that, because that's all the basic stuff covered. And then it's really going into how do you teach something? How do you break something down to small bite-sized chunks? How do you sequence it so that it makes sense? How do you bring, icebreakers and energizers and all this kind of stuff into a training, whether it's face-to-face or online? How do you do that to do a training when it's transferring skills? How do you do that? How do you facilitate a group of people that all hate you? how do you manage a group of people that you've got to try and get to a decision? That's another skill in itself. And then there's the keynote speaker training. Again, influential presenter training be the base. And if you want to do the keynote speaker training, that is basically all about how to create a story and do your 20-minute kind of TED Talk type speaker thing, and be of value to a big audience. And I'll give you a really important difference. I was invited to the National Sales Conference to do a workshop. So they have the keynotes and then they have workshops. And I was invited to do a workshop, and it was about an hour long, one of the workshops. And they said, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I'm going to do achieving unlimited outcomes, like achieving, massive goals anyway, like massive targets. And more people came to that workshop than any of the other workshops. So I literally had almost all the people sign up for that workshop. So what they said is, right, Jess, we were going to have you in a workshop, but we've put you on the main stage, which at the National Sales Conference is a massive stage. Everyone's in the dark, everyone's in theatre rows. And my whole workshop was turned on its head because it wasn't designed as a keynote speech. It was designed as a bloody workshop with exercises and discussions and questions. And then I had to, and because I was literally told at the last minute, I couldn't improvise fast enough to think how to shift until I walked on that stage and realized, holy shit, this is never going to work. People are in the dark. This is massive. Like, people don't like talking in public. They're not going to want to answer a question live with me in front of hundreds of other people. It was just, So I went with it anyway. I went with the workshop, and considering that I did, it wasn't, it was really intimidating for those people. I still ended up with people that wanted to play with me and have a good time. And it was really I'm glad that I did it. But if I could go back, that was years ago, if I could go back there and go, no, drop it. Literally drop it. Whatever you were planning, don't do that. Do a keynote speech. And I would have, if I just trusted my instincts to just improv more of a speech about it, I could have gone down the inspiring route instead of the skill transfer route. And there's a massive, massive difference. So I think this is why, for me, understanding what's different between presenting, training, and speaking, when you do get that opportunity, it's worth knowing the difference. And it's nice having it at your fingertips so that you can trust yourself and go with it. All right.
Yes, just quickly, the online training waiting list tab doesn't work.
Oh,
So I'd let you know. Sorry, because I definitely would like to sign up for that.
which one is Rosina's on it? How did you?
I just clicked on the link you sent me, but on each of the online training waiting lists, red button arrows, it's not bringing me anywhere.
Oh, it worked for me yesterday.
Online training. Was it the on-demand one or the?
No, the online training waiting list. None of the arrows are working for me. I just thought I'd let you know. Sorry to
They're definitely working.
I've refreshed.
When you put other people, I'm having some come through. I will honestly, it just sends an email. So for now, just email me with wait list, and then I know to put you in my wait list folder. Basically, that's all it would be. You're not going to get inundated with mailing this shit. I'm just getting to a sense of who's interested. So I've been doing this for corporates for 20 years, and it's only really occurred to me in the last couple of years, having since Home River, I probably should be doing that for the public. So it's something that's probably one of the most enjoyable parts of what I do. I love helping people fall in love with it. So where do we go from here then? Like I said, this is recorded. Listen back, do the exercises. You'll have all the PDFs and all the resources to be able to do these exercises in your own time. You can focus on whatever skill is most important for you, and then come back to this and ask those questions that you didn't know you needed to ask today. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always happy to answer questions. Anyone who knows me will tell you that. But get the app, because I'm just going to be putting more and more stuff on there. And you've all got a year. Anyone who's signed up now, you've got a year of free content. Now, remember, you've not had to put any details in, no card details, nothing. So at the end of that year, it will just drop off. No, you won't get charged. It's not like a subscription, a delayed subscription. You're in charge. So you don't need to worry about that. And feel free to use every free resource that is available to you. Because of the career that I've had, everything that I'm sharing is designed for those passionate beginners that want to learn NLP, if they want to learn NLP, master NLP, figure out how to make a successful business of it, become a speaker so that they can earn more money, share their mission, and sell from the stage, one to many, and so on, and share their mission, through speaking and training. And if you do want to become a corporate trainer and you don't know where to start, the training and facilitation course is just the beginning of it. I've also got about 30 different tried and tested courses, like presentation skills, resilience skills, leadership management, that I'm also going to put on the app as well, as part of perhaps the speaker subscription at some point. So you can have, there's more resources to get you started.
I've done
it the long way, and if I think about where I could have got to had somebody given me everything a bit earlier, I would have well, I wouldn't change anything, but it definitely would have been easier. Put it that way. And definitely read Daniel Priestley's book KPI. From a business point of view, it just literally puts everything into perspective. He does a course where he'll help you become a key person of influence, but I think it's about 10 grand for a year. I don't think you need to do that, because I think if you do something that isn't sexy, then yes, you're going to need some real help doing it. But I think coaching is sexy, so I think you can do it yourself. You can become a key person of influence without necessarily paying 10 grand to somebody to help you. But obviously, if you want to, he's brilliant. I've not done his course. I'm not affiliated with his course. I'm just super fan. And obviously, if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, you can do. My email, everyone knows I'm so lazy. I just don't send out shit at all. So you will not get pestered if you sign up. You'll be the one trying to email me to get stuff, because I don't pester people. But I'm trying to get better at pestering people. That's my motto and my mission for this year, because I actually know that people want more stuff from me. So you've got your special gift. I'll send everything else on. Anybody got any questions before I finish up?
Not a question, just a statement to say it's all incredibly generous, I think. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, Amy. I genuinely, and again, that I mean this, I genuinely want everyone to have the best career ever. It's the best, most amount of fun you can have. Brilliant. Obviously, you can ask me anything anytime. If you're on my WhatsApp group, you can ask me. Otherwise, my number will be on the follow-up email, so you can WhatsApp me anytime. To finish, let's just do something really fun, okay? So, the imaginary Richard, the rituals coach, right, does this cool thing which engages your subconscious mind to create, shortcut the alignment with your manifestation, right? So uses the power of belief, harnesses the belief to get you fully aligned with whatever it is that you're manifesting. So it's a shortcut approach to manifestation. So close your eyes. And what I want you to do is picture an area of your life right now that you're a little bit blocked in. Not necessarily, some massive issue, but just an area of your life where you're like, oh God, struggling to do this. This isn't manifesting fast enough. This feels really difficult. you know, blocking, you know, something that you asked for and not come yet. It's an area that feels really blocked. Again, you can listen back to this and do this again. Now, whatever that is, whatever first came to mind, now try and pull your attention over to what would it look like when it's manifested. So if it's health, vitality, if it's freedom, if it's money, if it's, and I think don't go vague like abundance, because abundance of what? You know, you don't want abundance of the wrong thing. So think, what do you actually specifically want right now that you would love to come to you? And make it something, maybe not the end outcome, but something that could happen in the next week, in the next month, something that actually be like, that's, you know, you caught a break. Like, that's amazing. That's an opportunity. That's, oh, that's just got easier. See what it is. And see if you can give it a word. So if it is money, like an influx of money, say, you know, think the word money. If it's opportunity, yeah, if it's clients that you're after, if it's vitality, vitality would be the word, or joy, there'd be another one. Fun. Whatever word you come up with, take the first letter of that word. Okay. And I want you to think about the house that you're in right now. If it's your house, if it's not your house that you're currently in, think of your house. And I want you to think of an object in that house beginning with that letter. So if it's M for money, it might be magnifying glass, mug, mop. Just think of something fairly innocuous, something that's not necessarily in immediate use. Okay. Think of a small object that's in your house. And then I want you to think of, in your house or surroundings, think of a location. So it could be, you know, by the microwave, it could be by the tree in the garden, it could be the loft. Think of a location in your house. It doesn't have to start with the same letter. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to imagine, and then you're going to do this later, you're going to imagine taking that object from where it is currently, and you're going to put it in the location. You're going to take it physically to the location you just thought about. And now as you do it, instinctively, you'll get a sense of what you're supposed to do with that object in that location. So it could be, for example, you know, a pepper pot, and I have to put it upside down under the tree. Or it could be, I have to take a coin and I have to put it under the doormat, or a magnifying glass under my pillow. Yeah. But allow whatever it is to bubble up. Or it could just be, you know, wave it around the tree three times. Whatever the action is in that location, just have something come to mind. Yeah, everybody got that? Okay. And then what's going to happen is, I want you to allow yourself to set up the ritual in your mind. That's what you're going to do. That is now your ritual. And when you do it, you're going to allow yourself to have what you want to manifest. Whatever you saw with that word, that letter, by doing the thing, by doing the ritual, you're going to allow yourself to have it. Now, if there's a time as well, you might notice I've got to have the magnifying glass under my pillow until it manifests. Or you might get a sense of, no, it needs to be 3 days. But have a sense of the time as well, the number of times to do the thing, or the amount of time to do the thing. And if it's impractical, so if your brain said the Sahara, a horse, if they're impractical things, go back to the original manifest, make it a step along the way to that thing. Yeah, don't don't go for the end result, go for a step along the way and then see what action and object come up, because they'll be different. Yeah, have you got something? Okay, and then you're going to do that sometime today, if it's practical for you to do that, and then you're going to tell me when it manifests. Deal? And Richard, the rich rituals coach, thanks you for your time and attention. Lovely. I swear, do it. Any questions on anything that we've done today? I've only gone over 26 minutes. That's pretty good. For me, that's pretty good. Oh, bless you. Obviously, like I said, ask me anything, and I'm going to be running this again, I think in a week or so. Feel free to sign up for it and get both recordings and compare what's the different questions and things that come up. But otherwise, thank you very much for joining me, and I wish you super amounts of success on your coaching journey.
Thank you so much, Jess.
Alrighty,
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Jess.
And
See you on
also,
Sunday.
Bye.
See you on
Bye,
Sunday.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. I'll hang out in case anyone's got any questions for a minute.